Dr. Lopez can warn me if time is then I can start. You know, I don't want to. Eh? 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Okay, cyber terrorism. I spoke about the Chernobyl accident, and Dr. Lopez taught us today. And at that time, a virus was sent to the computers, and all in the world, computers collapsed. You could not do anything. At that time, I remember very well the amount of the collapsing in Turkey. Okay, this kind of the attack can be counted as cyber terrorism or not. In my opinion, of course, it is a terrorism because someone is attacking to your system and your system is destroying. You cannot do anything more. And it is called cyber terrorism. There are some definitions, and the approach is differently. Some people are telling, okay, terrorism means that you have to take a gun and kill someone. Someone said, okay, cyber terrorism is a type of terrorism because your devices are infected and you cannot do anything more. In my opinion, it can be counted as cyber terrorism because something is affecting your availability of usage of the computing. Now I want to give a brief information about the development of technology and the war fighter. As you see, we have here years, and then normally data transfer rate is written here, and soldiers to cover 100 kilometers. In 1865, this is the civil war in the United States. At that time, the data transfer rate was about 20 bit per second. Bit per second is very low amount if you compare with this century. Because if I am asking you what is the speed of your computer, I am sure you will say megabit per second or gigabit per second, etc. It depends on the networking system. But this is bit per second. It is very low amount. Normally at that time, soldiers for covering 100 kilometers, about 40,000. But in the World War I in 1914, this is 32 bit per second. But the soldiers to cover 100 kilometers is about 4,000. And as you go further to come 2010, you see we are discussing gigabit per second. At this time we are speaking about gigabit. And I am sure you know the difference between the bit, byte, kilobyte. Can I have a pen? Maybe I can write something. I am sure you are familiar, but I want to show you something. For example, if I am speaking about 1 byte, it means 8 bits. And bits means we are using transistors in our computer. Chips, we are telling chips. And there are 8 bits here. And then, according to ASCII code, you have transistors where the current is high or low. High is, for example, if I am typing here 1 0 0 1 0 0 0 1. Okay, what is the value of it? Can you calculate it? Just we are putting beginning from here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 8-bit machine because we have 8 bits here. And then it means we have the base is 2 because computers are using binary numbering system. It means the base is 2. Here 1 times 2 power 7. 0 means when you are multiplying a number with 0, the result is 0. Therefore, you don't need to write this part of the term. Just you can type here plus 1 times 2 power 3. And then we have here 1 times 2 power 0. Okay, here you can calculate it. And we know if the power of a number is 0, then the number is equal to 1. And here we are getting 1. What about 2 power 3? You are multiplying 3 times 2, and the result is 8. And what about 2 power 7? You have to multiply 7 times 2. It is 128 or 64? 128. Okay, then you have to multiply 137. Okay, this is the result for 8-bit machine. But we have ASCII codes. Standard ASCII codes or Unicode. And here you can produce special characters, what you can produce using the keyboard. And for example, if I am typing capital A, this letter, capital A, has a ASCII code of 65. If you check on internet, then you will see 65 is represented by 8. It means if you are typing capital A using your computer, then the transistors will produce here 65. How can you create 65? Okay, then you have to get the 65. Here 2 power, here should be 1, and here should be 1, and the rest of 0. Because we know here we have 2 power 6, and here plus 2 power 1, 0 is 1, and then you are getting 65. You see, if you are typing capital A, then the transistor will be in this shape, and it means this cell will be 0, 1, the rest of them 0, and this cell should be 1 in order to get 65. You see, everything is done very speedily, and you are typing in Word, but everything is changed to bit system. And 1 byte is 8 bits, and 1 kilobyte is equal to how many bytes? 1 kilobyte is equal to 1000 or 1024. This distinguish this difference because you know the base is 2 power, and therefore it is equal to 2 power 10. And 1 megabyte is equal to 1024 times kilobyte. You have to multiply with 1024, and it is more than 1 million. Just you can multiply and see. And 1 gigabyte is equal to 124 times 124 times 124, etc. And 1 terabyte. I am sure some of you have a hard disk with terabytes, 1 terabyte capacity. Okay, this is, you can imagine the speed development of the speed in terms of byte, kilobyte, etc. And you can compare it with after 2010. We are handling with terabytes or gigabytes. What is the cyber threats? Cyber threats means destroying the integrity attribute, to destroy existence, to destroy confidentiality, and causing physical destructions. These are called cyber threats. The resources of cyber threats can be counted as following. The main areas where cyber threats can come are as follows. National governments, terrorists can attack your system. Industrial spices, some companies want to steal the plants of other plants, other factories, and they can attack to your system. Organized crime groups, organizations, activists, and hackers are the areas that can be counted as threat resources. It can be extended. As you see, we have many types of resources. Did you hear botnet? What is botnet?
Botnet.
No. Botnet means, actually it is the abbreviation of robot. What is robot here? The program is activating itself and growing and growing. You are typing a small code, and thanks to this code, for example, attacks are done automatically and spread everywhere. Criminal groups or intelligence services can be used, and malware, phishing attacks, etc. can be counted as threat resources. Okay, now, how many minutes do I have?
15.
15.
10.
10. Okay, 10. I want to show some examples from my country and from the world. Because you know, I have been an engineer in the field of computing, and beginning from 1975. First time I used coding Fortran. At that time I used Fortran programming language in 1975. And then in 1977 and 1979 I used again Fortran 4. I began with Fortran 2 and later. It means every time I used different programming languages. And when I was in Germany to pursue my dissertation, PhD, at that time I used basic programming language. It was 1980s. And the microcomputers were on the market, and the capacity of this computer was only 1 kilobyte RAM. You know 1 kilobyte means you had only 1024 bytes capacity. And programming with this small amount of kilobyte, it was very difficult for me. And I prepared my dissertation using these small computers. But I could do it. You know, although the amount of the storage was so low. Okay, it means the RAM, random access memory, was only 1024 byte, and we could not use very long variable names. We could use only one alphabet and one number. For example, A1 is equal to, then we wrote our formulas. But now it is extended and we can use everything. Now I want to give an event which was in 2001. Sorry about it. This is Turkish, but I will translate it. At that time, I worked at Fırat University, which is, I mentioned about Fırat University in other rooms, and I told you it was in eastern part of Turkey. Not it was, it is in eastern part of Turkey, Fırat University. But the rank of this university is very high in terms of engineering, especially. And at that time, there were many cafes, internet cafes. And in these cafes, two guys corresponded to each other. But suddenly, one of them said something bad words to another person. And they agreed to meet each other on street in downtown. And they brought their friends too, and they fight together. And one person was died, and the other sent to jail. And Milliyet is a newspaper in Turkey, a famous newspaper. And Meral Taner was the columnist of this paper, and she interviewed with me because I was only one person in city of Elazığ who was working in the field of computing, and I was expert in this field, and the court called me to give a report about this internet cafe. But it was not available to see the logs because of technology, and I could not find really the reason who began to say bad words to others. And at that time, therefore, I wrote the title as Fight Virtue, but Murder Real. In 2005 and 2004, I was in the United States. At that time, I used credit cards, and my credit card information was stolen by someone. Because everywhere, if you are going to a restaurant, etc., or buying something, you are giving your credit card, and this information can be stored, and they can use later. It is available for them. And in 2006, at the beginning of 2006, I went to Turkey, and I saw there are some withdrawn from my account, although I didn't buy anything. And I wrote to the bank that I didn't purchase anything. And okay, my credit card was secure, therefore I got this money from the bank. But normally the people could steal the number. It is available this time too. And you see, there are examples of fraud in online banking transactions. And you see the amount was not so high, but they are checking, they are withdrawn small amount in order to be not noticed by other people. There was another side. For example, I was in this side of Navy and Banana Republic. Although I didn't buy anything, they charged me money because of stealing of my credit card information. This is very interesting. I was recorded, or I was a member of International Black Ship Genealogy Association. I never heard this one. I was written in an association, and because of this association, they steal my money. Okay, then in my life I wrote some software in terms of ethics, and one of them is called cyber ethics targeting Android cell phones. This research was done by a student together. At the time, we were in Romania and we used a radio broadcasting system. This is about $10. And we could control the Android cell phones. Android, because iPhone is closed system, but Android, for Android we are using open sources, and we could control the people telephones, and we could download the short messages, pictures, etc. It was available to us, and we gave this information on a conference to show what can be done. Okay, now this is another fake issue on internet. It was very interesting. In 2023, I was in the United States at that time. I saw suddenly this advertisement on web page. You see this extended screen was sold only to $38. At the beginning, although I am working in this field, it was written, okay, we have a lot of screens, and because of bank ranking, we have to give this amount, this material very low, with very low prices, and I believed in it. I paid the money, and later I saw this is a paid company. But thanks to my credit card, I got this amount from the bank, because my card was issued by the company, but I lived this situation. You see, this is try, it's risk-free and so, but I had to think about it. It's not possible to buy two dual screen with this price. Okay, this is trading, but you know, they sent me something from China, and they sent this cow to me instead of screen. So things can be happen on computing. And this is, you see, this is the trading, and they sent only this material to me instead of screen. Okay, digital forensics. This is a very important area, and I suggest you to work in future in this field. Cybersecurity, digital forensics, artificial intelligence, these areas are important for our future. And I am sure you can find easily job in these fields. Actually, if you are working in computing areas, environment, then it would not be difficult for you to get a good job. But if you are working in these fields, I am sure you can be hired easily, and you can get very high salaries. Okay, I spoke about dual diploma program at Fırat University. Now I am establishing a dual diploma program for Karadeniz Technical University in computer engineering, and your team, we are speaking with him, and he appointed me as a representative of Karadeniz Technical University because I graduated there, and we are trying to create dual diploma program which is very effective in the world. This means we study 3 years in Turkey, and then they will go to the United States. This is an introduction for cybersecurity. I would like to have your questions if you have to me, and I hope I could make some information available in terms of cybersecurity as well. No? Now we can. Do you have questions? No.
¿Alguna pregunta? Any questions? Professor Varol has some of you were not in the previous presentation and at the 4 o'clock. So we have been collaborating, both Professor Varol and me. Well, Professor Varol and his team, me and our colleagues. Please, I'm talking. I'm sorry. And we have been collaborating on the organization of the conference, which is called International Symposium on Digital Forensics. Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
And it has been a very successful and fruitful collaboration. In specific, we have been organizing a workshop. We, IPCA, have been organizing a workshop at the conference, and the workshop is dealing with the impact of how can we use artificial intelligence to improve cybersecurity and other society aspects that can be improved further. And the results are interesting, it's been fruitful. Probably it lost the connection to the and this is an area that we have been fostering and that we also want to foster in IPCA, and this means through our post-graduation course in cybersecurity that we have. Yeah, and this is because this theme is relevant. IPCA is also adopting it. So we are also invited to consider a post-graduation course at IPCA. And if you want to do an Erasmus trip to Istanbul, into Maltepe University, these are the campus. This is the campus in the university.
We are waiting for you.
Yeah. So IPCA has an agreement, an Erasmus agreement with Maltepe University. So yeah, there are vacancies of spaces for you.
Just 1 minute introduction. You will enjoy.
Some of them have already solved, others not. No.
Istanbul offers great
It's not
universities and the license is really amazing.
We need to push it west and it's not projecting. Somehow we get stuck.
Okay.
It's a double screen. I don't know what
Sorry, what is your name? Okay, Faruk can be a representative of Turkey. And he can explain.
how good is Turkey.
Yes.
Especially Istanbul.
Yeah. What is the problem?
Well, if the Erasmus and the Turkish guests don't mind not answering the question, I'm going to make this question to the Portuguese one. Yeah? No? Yeah. So, in which continent is Istanbul?
Istanbul.
In which continent?
It's in Turkey.
Continent. Continent.
It's in Turkey, so it's in Europe. Yeah, of course.
Actually, he's right because we have two sides. Europe and Asia.
Istanbul is in Europe.
Yes, it is.
It's the only city in the world that is in two continents.
Which one?
It's the only city in the world that is in two continents.
Yes, two worlds.
Yes. So it's the place to be. If you want to die, some people first you need to go to Istanbul.
And another one in Asia?
Yes.
Yeah. That's why Istanbul is such a fascinating city.
Can you control?
We have a house.
We can try to Portugal.
In the north.
It's
in Portugal, but if they go to the bathroom in Spain. So it's in the middle.
Yeah, it's just a different country, not a different continent.
But it's in the same house.
Which one?
It's more try probably.
Yeah, probably this one, but it's not the